Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. It's time for that weekly mod collection demo shop update. But first we need to wrap up last week. I missed 3 of them, but I've got them for you now. Mark here was the lucky purchaser of an oranges red Sparkle Les Paul Custom. And then Mr. Ten Fingers picked up 2 cool Flying Vs. So this one's actually pretty fascinating. It really reminds me of Kirk Hammett's purple Flying V. It definitely has a cool vibe to it. And then his other Flying V was one of the customs done up in a pink widow finish. This one would have looked extra sweet if they would have had like a neon blue along the edges of the pickguard instead of the normal white, because then you'd have the 2 neon colors playing off each other, but that was a pretty cool Flying V custom. But before we get into this week's offerings, Gibson has a new promotion. If you buy a guitar on their website, you're going to get a free year supply of strings. So when I first read that, I was kind of excited. I mean, what do you guys personally think a year supply of strings might entail? I guess it kind of depends. Are you a super professional guy playing many gigs, you need to change it every other show? Or are you just an at-home guy? Well, Gibson's definition is 4 packs of strings. I thought that was gonna at least be 10, but better than nothing, I guess. I'm still sad we didn't get Christmas ornaments this year. But alright, let's get into this. Starting off with a custom color 59 reissue. We've got the return of the flaming mulberry finish. So basically we got some purple and dark magentas. It almost looks like one of the high performance fade finishes, where it's a little bit heavier here and then it kind of fades away because you've got the lighter purple hue here and then the darker, but the whole black plastics really just makes this not even look like a reissue anymore. But this photo does not deceive you. It's got a matching headstock. But I really, really wish they would stop putting these junior tuners on the reissues. It just ruins the vibe. But the back appears to be a satin finish, so it's kind of similar to my Crocomelon that we reviewed and demoed in this episode, except for now it's purple and it's got a colored headstock. All things considered, I don't think $5,600 was too bad of a price. But how do you like Green Noise Sparkle? I like it. It's like a greenish gold. You've got the P94 in the neck, uncovered bridge pickup, black hardware jives with the new color. I'd like to see this done up with a nice streaky rosewood fretboard though. I feel like this color could pull that off. No matching headstock, but at $6,900, I think that's going to be a tough sell for them, because that's just a regular custom. As opposed to this one, that's a true 57 reissue, which is a lot more expensive as the base model. And sure, it's at $6,400, but I actually really like this. I wish we could have more cherry-colored 57 reissues, because they naturally have the mahogany top due to the year that they're reissuing. But they played with our pickups a little bit here. We've got the chrome hardware, different knobs, but that ebony board with this wood grain and that color, it just works. And then nice, we got the waffle back tuners. Then just like last week, we've got another purple custom, but this time it is called Superb Purple. That really just looks like a highly blinged out high performance series guitar because they've got the white pickup rings underneath the metal toppers, and that's looking like black chrome hardware to me, but that's like an ultra glossy top. That is slick. The white binding matches the white knobs. Yeah, that pops. No matching headstock this time, but they're also putting the white plastic truss rod cover up here. And an interesting choice to leave the back natural. Definitely has modern aesthetics. I'm not surprised it sold. But our next ones have some very interesting things where if you were just flipping through these real quick, you might have missed what made them unique. So we've got Les Paul Custom VOS at $5,300, and yeah, it's just a white Les Paul Custom. It's got an uncovered bridge pickup, and they put the chrome/nickel hardware on here. Okay, it's not that special, but hey, did you see this? There's a little mini toggle on the side of your pick guard. And so if you go to your description, it says it's a series parallel switch for the bridge pickup. Okay, you don't mess with that too much on Les Pauls. So what that likely means is they've routed a little channel out of our bridge pickup ring. So they're running the wires through the traditional cavities and just coming up and around here, but it leaves your pickup ring to be wired there. So it's not being routed into the body from right here and then down like Jimmy Page style. And the back was left alone. I like it when they get crazy doing stuff with that. Next up, we've got one for the ugly contest, in my opinion. Red doesn't match with Silverburst, but, you know, it might be for somebody, but it's easy enough to replace these pickups or put covers on them or replace this pickup ring. But did you get blinded by its unconventionalness to not notice this? According to our description, it is a master coil tap switch. I would love to see a Les Paul Access custom done up in Silverburst finish. I bet they could sell a lot of those. But at the time of recording, nobody's fallen in love with it enough yet to give that a home. And now we have a cautionary tale. Safety tape satin Les Paul special. It's not my favorite design, but it's out there. It's quirky. You know there's a guy out there whose day job is like safety meetings and or construction that would totally play this at gigs on the side because it matches his personality or whatnot. And the design is extra brought to life because it's not exactly going over to the edges. I think some of that has to do with keeping your lines looking nice and straight, but it almost kind of gives you a fake binding effect. But where these guys really win is they continue the design. It's on the back. They didn't mess with doing the neck because, again, straight lines won't be able to be pulled off. But then they kind of crafted a stinger back here. You can see the outline of it even though it's not technically there. That was a fun one. The next one is a very strangely named Les Paul classic. It took me a while to wrap my head around this, but I think they're going for metallic with teal put in the center, so metallic satin. So no, it's not a crazy typo. Kind of looks like a Pelham blue, so it's a nice finish. Top, back, and sides all done up. We had a double gold 59 335 reissue. I'm really curious, did they run out of the custom-made plaques and they're just waiting for the next batch delivery, so they're just capping them off? I know we've seen them do it both ways in the mod collection, but there's been a real absence of those lately. But this one's just all gold. We had another Flying V, this time in a metallic green finish. And hey, P94 pickup in the neck, that's interesting. But it's got a matching back. That's not a bad price for a custom color V. Not surprised that got picked up. Then we had an Antique Natural Explorer, more Voodoo pickups and knobs with a black Moto pickguard. We had another interesting Les Paul Jr. So last time I thought it was like Prince influence because they did a purple one. And I think during the Samurai Guitars guested episode when he had purchased one, I think they did something similar to this. I don't know about this pickguard design. I mean, it makes it interesting to talk about, but it's not my favorite. But I do like the incorporation of the old BFG style knobs. And then they save it all by using one of the old Gibson logos, but leaving most of the back alone. Here's another one that got saved by the headstock. So SG Standard Riverside Red looks very similar to a Voodoo series guitar, but without the wood grain showing. I mean, that's quite a striking example, right? But what really pushed it over the edge is they gave the headstock the widow treatment. So you've got the red lacquer over the Gibson logos. So that made that pretty cool. There was a Custom Shop 61 reissue SG, a little under $4,000, done up in wintergreen pearl, and it's got the Moto pickguard with the same stuff on the back. An ebony satin Les Paul Jr. I'm confused because these are only $1,600 brand new in gloss finish. Why is our satin finished one that much more expensive? I'm not seeing anything that makes it worth a premium. I have a feeling that one's gonna sit around for a while, or maybe get a price adjustment. Maybe there was some sort of an error there. And then lastly, we've got a Les Paul Studio done up in rustic cabin. The top is actually quite nice. I like that. Lots of wood grain. Witch hat knobs, new pickups. Kind of makes it look like a tribute, but we don't have the maple neck. So yeah, not the mod collection's best week, but they can't all be winners. How about the demo shop? Lots of players, great stuff, but one thing really did stand out to me this week, and it was this absolutely gorgeous Les Paul custom. A lot of times the modern day Les Paul customs, they get finished in solid colors. You don't get to see the flame tops unless you're doing like a 68 reissue or something. So this one, judging by the ABR1 bridge, was just a regular Les Paul custom. So being done up in this finish with that nice of a top was quite refreshing to see, to be honest. Like, this looks like a particular year reissue custom rather than just the regular thing. But looking over here, we can see it's got some stand rash on it. A couple of marks in the setup area, but $500 off with the flame top and the cool finish, that is well worth it. I doubt that'll be there by the time this airs. And if it is, you should pick it up. Next, we've got one of those 70s deluxes. They put some black plastics on it. They swapped out our mini humbuckers for P90s. It was kind of interesting. Wanted to show you that. Pretty decent deal on one of these mahogany Flying V's if that's what you're going for. The Carino ones will run you 10 grand, but the mahogany ones were only 5,000 if I remember correctly. So that's $1,000 off the brand new price. But hey, did you notice this? It has a stinger on the back. So that must have been a custom order or a limited edition for a dealer or something. Then this 50 standard had a pretty cool top to it. So we've got kind of a woman's face right here. Now it might be kind of hard to see at first, but hear me out here. So this starts her hairline and it's all the way on the side of the face. Then it kind of gets brushed over and then it's covering her other eye right here. But then right here is her eye, but it's closed, like she's happy. It's slightly arched. And then this is her little nose right here. And then you've got just a small little mouth. Kind of reminds me of the lava mountain lady So I thought that one was kind of interesting. Then this one was crazy. When I read Vintage Sunburst, it's like, I don't see Vintage Sunburst, so I click on it. I really look into it, and it's like, okay, I guess I do see it. It's just the gold hardware steals the show. But just as I thought, it's one of those weird headstock Japanese exclusive runs that had the volute and everything. But back here, you can definitely see the Vintage Sunburst finish. These are kind of cool. And at $1,600, I probably would have bought that too. Now we can wrap things up here with the European side. This Les Paul Tribute, not necessarily a fantastic top, but the back. The back was interesting. It's got some unique figuring that would definitely dance in the light. This Thunderbird 4 might look unassuming from the front as well, but then the mix match of wood grain between these pieces and that one, it should be on a different guitar. These all match really well together, but this side of the body and the neck match better, so it's kind of got a cool yin-yang effect going on. But whoa, is this evidence of European demo shop doctoring their photos? It's all perfectly white around here, right? But not around the tuners. This was just a fantastic deal. Ebony 61 style SG, 13 including everything. This one even has a vibrola on it. Definitely one of the older models though, wasn't it? No? Okay, it's stamped mod, so that means they probably added the vibrola. We haven't seen a double neck in the European market in a while. Not a bad price if you wanted one of those in that particular market. Ooh, that's got some nice wood grain on the back too. That'll have a good chatoyant effect. This was just an absolute steal for their market, $6,600 USD. That's a $10,000 brand new guitar plus all your value added taxes. I'm sure that's easily a $12,000 guitar in their market. So why do you get it at half price? That's such a great deal. Well, if you go through all the photos, eventually you'll see it's got some finish checking. It just looks like normal weather checking, nothing too scary. So I would say don't let that scare you, but it's already sold. Then we have this weird looking SG Special that they took the P90s out of for mini humbuckers because that is something you can do. All right, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed this week's recap. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, consider subscribing. I post videos like this every day. And you might even enjoy this next one.